Good evening. It's Friday night, just after 8 o'clock. It's PRTvSpurs, Paxton Road TV. Me, Sam Spurs for life. We're back with the Premiership this weekend. We haven't been here for a while. Talking points. We are talking about this today. Let's have a little see. Poch is back in the lane. What's he saying? He's back. Come Monday, we're going to be playing Chelsea, as we know. A few things to happen before that, but let's have a little bit of a talk as we do. We'll put the music on so you can enjoy the talking points intro. I quite like it.
It's just different.
Slam Spurs for life in the building. How are we doing, people? Yes, it's talking points again. I'm joined in the house. I'm just looking down at my monitor. I've got a new setup here. It's all good. It's all good. I've got 3 screens. It's great. I've got the hoodie on. I'll take that off. It's a need for that. Anyway, let's have a look and see who we've got in the house to join me tonight. I'll add them in. I think I can add them in like this. Is it going to work? Yes, it does perfectly well. Ooh. We have SUBSRCRIBE. We have Darius, 3K. We have Sean Her. Welcome to the stream. How are we doing? It's the weekend. We're top of the league, 10 games gone, near quarter of the season gone. Well, probably quarter of the season gone, actually. Yeah, it's just gone over that buffer. And, we know what's happening this weekend, or should we say Monday. A lot of us are going to go to that game. It is the big one, as I would say, one of the big ones during the season. Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea. There's been a lot going off in the week. I saw Postecoglou's interview, I think it was yesterday I watched it actually. Very complimentary, but he did actually put, he's not going to get a guard of honor. What do you expect him to get? No, he's not. But we talked about this the last time, whether it's going to be a nice one of them from me or it's going to be a complete boo. I think we've all got our views on that. So we're going to talk about things. Anyway, Darius, looking forward to the game on Monday.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun, to say the least. And like I said, I think we mentioned it on, was it the last talking points or the talking points before this? The one before that, sorry. I'm expecting hostile treatment for that man because he already crossed the line when he went and joined those guys. So we don't need to give him any sort of plaudits, any sort of respect. He is here to win a game, and so are we. So I'm expecting all of you guys who are going to the game to give him a hard time because you know what? I don't even want to get back into it. I could run back the talking points and we could go through what me and Sean were doing at the bottom of the screen, screaming from the top of our lungs saying, no way, no way, no way. So yeah, I'm just expecting same performance as I did with, all the other games gone and maybe a little bit more physicality where we need to show it to them because this is a little bit bigger than your usual game. It isn't no Fulham at home or Crystal Palace away, in my opinion. It's got a little bit more importance to it.
100%. Hope my stream is okay and it's not coming through too badly. Sometimes I have these initial problems with Sky, but we got a bit of a Sky gig or whatever they called it, and I just want to make sure it is good because if it's not, I'm going to have a few words. Anyway, Sean, the game's coming up Monday. I'm sure you're going to be there. Poch has been outspoken. And I think the respect from Postecoglou has been good. I don't think he's trying to whip this up into a battle of the bridge that we've seen before. I think that's what the media want. That's obviously what the media want. It'd be interesting to know how the players are feeling because quite a few of these players don't go back to that 2018 job. Yeah,
16, isn't it?
Is it 16?
Well, no, he left in 2019. Yeah,
it was 2018. That Battle of the Bridge game.
I thought you talked about Battle of the Bridge. I thought you talked about Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, I am.
Battle of the Bridge is 2016.
2016.
Yeah, because Leicester won the league in 2016.
Oh my god!
Oh,
is that how long it's been?
Yeah, it's 7 years.
It don't seem like that long. Anyway,
because 2017 Chelsea won the league, we finished second. 2018, that was
See, we can't be carrying this. We can't be carrying that.
Yeah.
Wait a second, yeah.
No, now.
Sam, you're gonna get me hot again. You're gonna get me hot again, Sam.
Yeah, no. All right, I rephrase that. I rephrase that because obviously it's Chelsea, it's them lot. It's like Arsenal. You know what I mean? West Ham. You could put them in the same sort of boat. We don't forget anything like that. But it just seemed to me it was more recent. I don't know what was going on, but that's now. That's Jesus. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. So this is what I'm trying to get to. My point I was trying to get to was a lot of that playing staff on both sides has changed completely. So what I was going to then say to you, Sean, before I just thought it was 2018, is what do you think these players are actually thinking going into this game now? Because we obviously know that it's Poch. You know, Postecoglou's only been in a job 5 months, whatever it's been. He's got a new philosophy, a new way of playing. We're doing things differently at Spurs. The media want us to go back to 2016 and start whipping up all this battle of the bridge sort of talk and all the rest of it. But what do you think is actually going on with these players?
Well, let's get it straight. I mean, of the players that are involved in that night, there's only Dyer, who should have seen a red card, and Sonny left from that team. So, you know, all the other players have no history with Chelsea other than if they played them last season, and we beat them at our place more than comfortably. And I still remember it for an absolute cracker from Skippy just after half time. So I must admit I've kind of dialed down my myself a little bit today. I watched Pochettino's press conference. He was he was a lot more complimentary. I think the fact that Postecoglou spoke well of him yesterday helped. I think the players are just thinking it's another game. We've got a plan. The coach has said do this. We're going to do this. And if we follow the plan and we have the rub of the green and all sorts of other things, we'll take the 3 points because I don't think Chelsea are that good.
No, I don't think they're that good. Like I said, I know Sid he's looking at me there. He's almost looking at me with daggers like when doing the preview show. We're not doing the preview show, fam. We're just talking about a bit of Vine Poch. You know what I mean? I can see the daggers. But what I was gonna say though was because it is an important game, and I think I'm looking at it not from just the stats point of view, which we can do in the preview show. I'm looking at it more from the psychological point of view. We've got an ex-manager coming back who has, by all intents and purposes, by whatever you want to call the phrase, hasn't done exceptionally well since he's left us. You know what I mean? Some would say he's gone to PSG and done what he's done at PSG. Well, quite a lot of people do. He's now come back to Chelsea, said what he said at the beginning. I know some people have said that he's kind of taken a pot shot at Spurs. Yeah, well, he's going to do nothing less. He's employed by Chelsea now, so they're not going to want him to say, "Oh, I love Spurs," because we know what the rivalry's like. But going into this game now, who's this a bigger game for? Is it Poch or is it Ange? Sid with the daggers.
Do you know what? I'm not giving you daggers, man. Don't worry. I think it's a big game for both. It's a big game for both, mainly because Postecoglou's obviously come to Spurs. He's on a form. He's on a run of form. He's unbeaten so far. Top of the league, number 1. Right? He's excelled already. He knows what he needs. He's been doing it. The players have been responding to what he's been saying. There's not a bad word coming out of anyone's mouths from the players. So he's done his job. Tick. Him across the road, right? West London boy. We're first. You just add a number 1 next to our number 1. They're 11th. They're 14 points behind us. So, yes, we have to give him time at Chelsea. He'll get it right. Blah, blah, black sheep. Have you any wool? Whatever, yeah? I don't really care. I don't care. It's a big game for him because they're not in form. They hit and miss. He's got a lot of players coming in, coming out. He hasn't got his squad balanced. They're not winning games. They're not scoring. You know, everything's wrong at the moment with Chelsea, right? So it's just as big as a game for him. What is the icing on the cake or the cherry on top is the fact that now they are coming to Spurs in the form that we're in. They, you know, hit and miss. They're gonna make it into all about Poch, aren't they? They're gonna make it all about Poch and how massive game it is. The fans are gonna be on his back. The players are gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a battle. Like Sean said, there's only one player left, which is Son. The rest of them, for them, I think it's just gonna be go to sleep, wake up Monday morning. It's a new game. It's a new world. It's a new game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're playing Chelsea. Let's go and do the job. Let's do our job. Let's do what we've been doing all from day one. Go and win the game. I don't think, to be fair, a lot of them lot are going to be bothered about Poch's return because none of them played for Poch. So they'll be like, you know, it's all new to us. What's all this about? But it'll be an interesting atmosphere in the stadium because fans never forget.
I personally think it's a bigger game for Poch, to be honest with you, because of the position that Chelsea find themselves in. You know, I know it's not his fault they spent all that money, but he's, at the end of the day, he's in charge of what they've bought. He's in charge of putting together the team. So I believe Chelsea, it's a mass. If they get a draw out of this, I think they'll come away with that as a moral victory. If we come away with a draw, and this is how things have changed, if we come away with a draw, I'll be very disappointed. I'll tell you that. I'll be very disappointed because we know what's happened in the past with Chelsea. The record that they've got against us is frightening. You know what I mean? It's frightening. I remember going to a game at the Lane and seeing us win there for one of the only times in my life that I'd seen we beat Chelsea. It was not good. And then obviously Jose rolled up in town, did what he did, and he came to us. So it's kind of got them similar type of parallels. Did we really think Jose was not a blue in terms of how he felt? Always felt to me that Jose was a blue. Now I know that Jose is more of a mercenary more than anything, but coming back into the Prem, he just always seemed like a blue. And then we had the Conte situation. So we've had the situation kind of like ourselves. Now it's kind of seeing this manager in the reverse sort of thing. He's gone from Spurs to Chelsea, whereas they've come from Chelsea to Spurs. He's got to be under pressure, man. I don't want to see him take away 3 points. I don't want to see him take away anything. And that's what I hope the fans will make sure he's. But like I said, we've got to be respectful of what he did. Are some people going overboard of what he did for us? What's the actual? Because I don't know. What's the thoughts?
Well, we played good football for a few years. We didn't win anything. He threw competitions at late stages in the tournament. You know, fair enough. I mean, it was good to watch, and he took us to some great. We had some great nights, and we got to a Champions League final. But he won as many trophies as Conte did, as Nuno did, as Jose did, and a whole string of managers before him. So you know, I'm as I say, I'm dialing down my a little bit my enmity towards Pochettino, but it won't be dialed down for Chelsea. It's Chelsea, and they will get that North London derby where we knocked Arsenal out of their stride and stole the last Champions League place. I want that kind of atmosphere. I'm not going to personalise my hatred of Chelsea. I hate Chelsea. You know, politically, I've hated Chelsea. Always had a right-wing element to them. Nasty people. Although, having said that, the only people I ever knew who were Chelsea fans were some of the nicest people on earth. But their reputation goes before them. They were the ones who you know used to call us Jews back in the days. The hissing. I'll never forgive them for all that kind of stuff. That history sticks with me. And no, I'm just absolutely have nothing but contempt for the Chelsea club. The fact that their coach is Mauricio Pochettino is no different if it was Tuchel, if it was Potter or anyone else.
Darius, talk to me about this £1 billion Chelsea has spent in this calendar year. You know, shouldn't that have pushed them into a position now where they should be coming to us. I know obviously the games have been played and we've seen what they're like, and people are telling me, oh, they need to have time because blah blah blah. I'm not so sure. If he's got that much players, he's used to that situation. If you go back to the PSG sort of thing, so I'm not so sure that he can't handle these big egos. There's a lot of players at Chelsea, don't get me wrong, but £1 billion spent almost. Shouldn't Poch be coming to the lane thinking, yeah, I should be doing this? That's what I'm thinking. The pressure's on them. What's your thoughts about
that? I think it's a little bit, it's the 1 billion can mislead people sometimes.
Wasn't a lot of that spent before Poch got there?
It's not even necessarily that, but when in the sense of what Shane or Sam mentions, yeah, okay, it's $1 billion spent, but you look at the profile of player that they're kids. I don't think a lot of them do carry that big ego. I don't think they're on massive wages. There are long contracts and the wages aren't huge. Do you know what I mean? Seems like, Clear Lake, Bowley, whatever you want to call them, it seems like they are building a club for a project, and they're also building a club to maintain value, I assume, because he's, despite spending 100 million on Caicedo, it's crazy as it sounds, I don't think he will lose that much of his value, even if they, lose out on 10, 15 million, 20 million. So I think that they know what they want to do. However, will it work? I don't know if you can make a 30 kids win a league. I don't think that's possible. So they just need to sort of adjust that squad a little bit, sort out who's going to be the experience, who's going to lead that team. They have Silva, Gallagher, I think, is a very, very good leader and an important player in that team. And yeah, I don't think Poch is going to necessarily come here thinking, because they've spent $1 billion, they should win. Because the profile of player, a lot of it has been, kids that you don't really necessarily, you haven't really heard of, to be honest with you. I mean, the likes of David Washington and Kendry Payes and all these kids you've never heard of, and they spent like 20, 30 million euros on them. They're for the future. So I personally said that this team's going to finish in the top 4 this season. That was my hot take. They're playing well. That's the issue. They're just not scoring goals. So when Nkunku comes back with the injuries and stuff, you might see a different Chelsea in 6 months' time, or then in 3 years' time.
So I want Sid to take up this part of this, because what you said about Pochettino, we go back to 2019 when everybody kept saying, oh, we need to give Poch this money. We need to give Poch money. If Poch has got the money, Poch knows how to bring players through. We're going to take it a step to the next level, Well, he's been at PSG where they had a lot of money. They had a lot of players. Whether you think he's a success at PSG or not, that's debatable. He's come to Chelsea. Now, whether or not he's spent that billion in the calendar year is irrelevant to me, because he's now got a choice of a lot of players. If Poch is so good, and this is not me, this is not about me shitting on Poch. This is a discussion I want people to understand. It's not going. If Poch had been given that money by us, would he have taken us to that next level, Sid? Oh, he's on mute. He's on mute. Ooh.
Listen, I honestly don't want to put a damper on this, and I might, I don't give a fuck, to be fair. I'm not bothered about Chelsea. I'm not bothered about Pochettino. I don't really give a shit. Whether he had $1 billion or $2 billion to spend at Spurs, he didn't happen. He left the club. He went to PSG. He's now at Chelsea. Good luck to him. Wherever he does, he can spend $5 billion, $6 billion. I can't really give a shit, to be fair. He's not ours anymore. He can go and do what he wants to do there. Let's talk about Poch and Tottenham, man. Forget them. Forget Poch.
You know what? Sid's so right.
I don't give a shit.
I was gonna say, let's make an analogy. Let's think about it. Let's think about our clubs and our managers, like our relationships. You have a partner. You're with a partner for 6 or 7 years, and you have great memories, and you enjoy that time, and it's amazing in the moment, and you have a great time, and then it ends not very well, and then you see your partner go and get with your mate, or the person that you absolutely hate who got the promotion at work that you didn't get. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel like, yeah, you know what? Let's welcome him back into our house with open arms. No, we're not going to accept that.
No.
So we shouldn't accept that with our manager. The memories are great, and we can keep those memories, and we can cherish those memories. But we're in the present, like Sid said, and we're here to talk about a project that I think may surpass that in a shorter amount of time. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
This is it. He's gone.
I don't care about Poch
No.
anymore. I don't care.
Darius, well said. He's gone. I don't care. What would have happened if we'd given $1 billion to Conte, $1 billion to Mourinho, $1 billion to Nuno, $1 billion to whoever, yeah? You know, Christian Gross or whoever, whatever. They're gone. Forget about them. Forget about them. Not interested. I couldn't care less. Yeah, I couldn't care less. Now it's all about Spurs. It's all about Postecoglou. Yeah. Oh, we got to start worrying now because Man United wants him. He's going to go to Man United now, isn't he? And leave Spurs. Fucking all these lot, man. You know what I mean? We've got something good. Let us have it. Let us enjoy it. I couldn't really care, mate. Honestly, I could not care. If he was that good, he had that £1 billion to spend. Should have won us the Champions League final, shouldn't he? Shouldn't have played Kane. Should have played wherever. But I couldn't care less. I swear down, I could not give a flying fuck about him or Chelsea. Let's talk about Tottenham and the present and how we're going to smash him.
I think Sam raises an important question, though. He does raise an important question. If he'd been given money, but I think there's two things I would say negate that. He did get money. He got money in the summer of 2019. He spent it because he picked these players on Tanguy Ndombele,
Yep.
Giovanni Lo Celso,
Agree.
Ryan Sessegnon, and Jack Clark. What has become of those players? You've got Tanguy.
It took 4 years for Jack Clark to become good, didn't it?
He may well have been one for the future. Who knows? But Tanguy Ndombele is hanging out at the back of Burger King in downtown Istanbul. Lo Celso can't get a game because he keeps pulling his bloody hamstring. Ryan Sessegnon, I saw him for the first time on a Spurs video today.
Does he still exist?
Talking to Manor Solomon while they were doing rehab. Waste of money. That summer window speaks volumes. I don't think Pochettino's has got talent spotting as one of his specialities. He can build a team, he can put a team together, but I don't necessarily think talent spotting is his forte. So I'm glad that we've moved on. I'm glad we've got a coach which is a natural fit, and let's make it all about our man. Let's back our boy who's miraculously taken us to the top of the league. And I expect us to win on Monday, and I expect us to win well. And that's because we've got a manager who knows how to. In his press conference yesterday, they asked him that question: if you had £1 billion, and his answer was absolutely brilliant. He said, "You could have 24 world-class players. You do not win a thing. It doesn't guarantee you win a thing. In actual fact, it probably causes you more problems because they all want to play. And you've got to, he's probably saying you need water carriers and you need artisans. And that's what he's building at Tottenham. And long may it continue because I love him. I'm loving Big Ant instead."
And do you know what? If Sam, if he would have been given us $1 million, like Sean said, we've got 2 players that he's bought. We can't even get rid of them. And one of them now apparently GLC's been told he can leave, and we're going to take around 15 to 20 million for him. And Burger King's coming back to us, isn't he? Again, because they've got rid of him. Galatasaray said, "Get out. You're not wanted anymore because you're not listening. You're not losing weight." So they're sending him packing in a McDonald's bag to us. So, you know what I mean? It's madness.
I mentioned the billion because, like I said, I've looked at Poch since he's left, and I'm not actually seeing. I'll go just to his check because I don't think the PSG can really give him enough measurement off because it's PSG. But certainly what he's doing at Chelsea now from the start of when he's been at Chelsea, and if you look at the 2 managers, you look at what Ange Postecoglou's done, and we can look at what Postecoglou's done. Similar circumstances, different scales, different ends of the scale. Chelsea throw money, just trying to, get players in. But he's got to deal with that. Us at the moment, in terms of what we are, what Postecoglou is doing is building a community, he's building a family, he's building us from the base upwards in terms of the whole thing about the whole club. Everybody's got to buy into it. Everybody's buying into it. At Chelsea, it's about results. You spend that much money at Chelsea, and with these owners that they've got now, they're expecting to get results. I don't care what anybody tells me. It's not a project. It's not a project at Chelsea. It's not a project, because they're not going to wait 5 years to see the fruits of this project. If they do
It's a
not win
different
anything.
regime, though, Sam. You have to remember this. It is.
No.
This is different.
These guys, so you wouldn't spend the amount of money they've done to try and turn over the whole squad if you're thinking it's a project, because football doesn't work like that. I've never seen anything in my life where a team's just been like flipped over, you've thrown out 24 players, brought in 24 players, and it works. You look back at the history of football in any league you want, and you can tell me if that's worked. Never worked. Never to be successful. Chelsea never did it under Roman Abramovich. They're not going to do it under these guys now, because it just doesn't work. Because Postecoglou said so. You can't just buy and I'll buy him. No, you're going to get him. I'll take him. Thank you very much. And expect players. I don't care what wages they're on. They're footballers. If they've got anything about them and they want to become successful in their footballing career, they're going to want to play. Now, what you've got in modern day football is you've got a lot more mercenaries. If you're telling me someone on an 8-year contract, maybe earning 150k a week, who's been highlighted as being the next big thing, but that's not quite been the next big thing. And I'm looking at someone like Casado's been there. He's been touted as being, he's going to play for this player. He ain't really done it. 100 million. He's now cool. I'm not sure I'd have spent 100 million. He's on whatever he's on for another 8 years. Do you think he's bothered by not playing football? And if you're not bothered by not playing football, that's a massive problem in any profession. And so what I'm looking at now is, how does Poch do what he's got to do to get these players playing? I don't know how he's going to do it. I think he's been given a real poison chalice. People are talking about Man United, but Chelsea are behind Man United. And look at the fucking shit. And we'll talk about Man United in a little while. Look at the obvious shit which is going off down the road. Well, not it's down the road, up wherever they are.
And you know what? I disagree. I actually think it's not that bad at Chelsea. I think it's really not. It's really not. If you watch the game, if you watch Chelsea play this season and you watch United play this season, I would name you the Brentford game and the game where Dalot scored a screamer. I can't remember who that was against. Sheffield United, was it? That is luck. At the end of the day, that is luck. They got lucky McTominay scored 2 goals. They got lucky Dalot scored a screamer. Chelsea have been unlucky that, one, they've had about 15 injuries, and 2, the striker, Michael Jackson, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, whatever you want to call him, can't score. Unfortunately, yes, that is an issue with spending that much money and not getting a clinical striker, but they had Nkunku, who would have done well, because in pre-season, him and Jackson were doing well. So I don't think Chelsea actually are in a terrible situation. If you look at the underlying stats as well, they're top 3 for, defense, attacking stats, creative stats. Like they are up there in most of the metrics. So when it comes good, and don't forget, we are a bit of a unicorn situation. There's not many teams, not many clubs, not many managers who can come into a team in 4 or 5 months, win 2 manager of the month and have your team first place. Poch is 4 months into this project as well, with a bunch of new players. And to say that, it's not looking great, but they were in turmoil last season. They finished 12th. And to say that they're looking good under the hood, I would say, and that they are going to sort of turn around these results, I do think. They're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. I think it's not actually as bad as people making it out to be. And it could, I think Chelsea, like I said, I think Chelsea are going to finish top 4 this season. I still believe that. But I think if you actually look at how Chelsea are playing, they're not playing that bad. And when they come up against big teams like Liverpool and Arsenal, they've got 2 draws in those games. So it's not going to be an easy game. And I don't think Chelsea are in that bad of a situation as you think, Sam.
Cool. I know Sid wants to move off Chelsea, and we are going to do that. But I just want to because I disagree with Chelsea. You think you can play well or not? You need to get results. It's just about results business here. Chelsea drew with Liverpool on the opening day of the season. Since then, they lost to West Ham 3-1. They beat Luton 3-0 at their place. Whoopie-doo. They lost to Forest at home 1-0. They didn't beat Bournemouth. They drew with Bournemouth 0-0. Some would say, "Oh, Bournemouth," but we dealt with Bournemouth. They lost to Villa at home at the Bridge. They beat Fulham. Happy days. We beat Fulham. Happy days. And no, the game was, but Fulham ain't doing that well this season. And they drew against Arsenal, and I don't think they should have. Personally, they played well against Arsenal. Arsenal didn't play it, but Arsenal still got a draw out of it. So although Chelsea have been said, "Oh, they're unlucky to this and that,"
I don't think they would have scored.
Some people have different views. I'm thinking to myself, Chelsea, if they're not playing that well, I'm sorry, if you're saying that they're playing all right, they're still beyond Man United who are playing awful. So I think there's a lot more problems here than what you think, and I think we'll see come Monday, because I think if we don't turn them lot over, I'll be very, very disappointed. Sid, moving on to Postecoglou. 10 games in, he's been very, very coy. They tried. The first question that was asked about him in the interview I saw was worded quite well. I know you're not talking about his whole thing, but what are you thinking about the title race? Is it and again he's going back to the same old sort of things. It's all right for the fans to dream, the players and himself. I think he's saying it's just about the next game. It's about improvements, and then at the end of the season we see where we are. Do you think that's really what's going on, or behind closed doors is there other things being said? 10 games in now.
I honestly believe what Postecoglou is saying is what he's thinking. I don't think and he said it how many times? Enjoy the ride. The fans are enjoying it. Let them carry on enjoying it. I speak to Rangers fans. I speak to Celtic fans at work. And they are saying that, you know what? Are you enjoying what you're seeing? Because he said, I told you lot, that this is what you're going to get. This guy apparently is a gem. It's his whole, everything about him, the way he speaks, the way he communicates, not just with us, Spurs fans, the media, other players, other teams, managers, whatever. There's no one's got a bad word to say about him. And deep down, I still think he's just wants to go out every single game, win the game. The closer it gets, the further we go, the closer it gets, is then when he's going to start thinking, do you know what? Okay, let's do it. Because how many times has he said it? My squad's not deep enough. I need more players. He's now said he wants 3 players, a centre-back, left wing, stroke striker as priorities in January. He's looking at what's happening. And I think he's making everyone else aware, the directors, the owners, Levy, everyone else around him aware. Look, guys, this is what I'm doing. Everyone's getting on board. Everyone's, coming on board. There's no one going overboard. Enjoy the ride. Bring it in. Now, come January, carry on what you did in summer. Send me these players. I'll make the phone call. If they're good enough for me, I want them. So I don't think so. I don't think the players keep getting asked the questions. I think they're playing the system. They're playing the media. Like Son the other day when he was asked, he was like, nah. But you can see the smile on his face. Romero's done the same thing as well. Deep down, I think they're thinking, but he's not letting them get carried away, because boy, can this season turn in a flick of in minutes, a refereeing decision or anything, and it flips. And if the player's mind starts flipping, then it's a problem. But as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the football. We've all said it. The football's brilliant. We've not lost the game. He's grounded. The players are grounded. Now, I watched Madison the other day on a League of Their Own, and Ramesh Ranganathan obviously hates Spurs, obviously, innit? So they were asking him the question, and he said, "Why Spurs?" And he just said, and we've talked about this before. He said he made the phone call to me, and he said to me, "I want you to come to Spurs." And he basically said, "Believe what you want, hear what you want about Spurs, but all I'm going to tell you is, if you want to come to Spurs, it's down to you. You come or not come. Tottenham and the way Tottenham are going to be playing football next season is changing. You want to come? Enjoy the change. If you don't, that's your problem. That's down to you." And Madison said that was the conversation, and he went, the thing that stuck in my mind was he didn't pester me. He didn't give me ultimatums. He just said Tottenham under Postecoglou is changing. Football's going to be different. And he said, that's what stuck in my mind. And he said, that was it. Made my mind up. He said, that's it. Nothing more, nothing else. If you want to come, come. That's it. None of this, please, please, please come. I want you to come, please. You know, I'm begging you, begging. Nothing. No. Come and play for me. You'll enjoy the football. We're on a ride. And that is what I'm loving about Postecoglou. So, I don't know. Everyone's thinking we're going to win the title. It's too soon. 10 games in, I still think it's too soon. I think January is where we start thinking and believing. If we're still where we are in January, come back to me, ask me the question, and I'll say to you, yes. Then I'll say yes. Now we can concentrate. Now we can say yes, we can win the league. But I still think it's too early. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
I'm going to say what I was going to ask Sean. What's he thinking? What do you think Postecoglou's thinking? And do you think what he's thinking is what he's actually saying to the media in private as well?
Yeah, I just don't detect a second face at Ange. He says what he feels. You know, he was asked a question the other day, do you want more players? And he said yes. He said, you know, and he said where? He said everywhere. You know, he said he wants more. You know, he knows the limits of the current squad he's got, and he's looking to improve it. He knows it won't happen quickly. He said he's prepared for the downturn. You know, I mean, all I want is really for him to, you know, keep his sort of unbelievable home record, which goes back to Japan. You know, of being undefeated, and that, you know, not that I would want a draw, say, on Monday, but I definitely want to, you know, see us win, and I expect us to win. But I just don't see a second side to him. He just says what he feels. I mean, that press conference yesterday was brilliant. I mean, they asked him all sorts of questions. They went down the road of the X, you know, talking about Pochettino. They even mentioned the players went on a dinner together over the weekend because they had a few days off. And he said, they asked him about it. He said, the reason it was fun is because I wasn't there. You know what I mean? So I get the impression that he wouldn't be, he's not a clubbing sort of person. He's not like AVB used to sort of, you know, almost think he was one of the players and hang around with the players. You know, he keeps his distance. He has short, sharp conversations. He'll know what the team is capable of, and all he's telling to us as fans is enjoy it and dream, and you know, dare to dream, you know. And at the minute, we've won football games in different styles. We've been fluent, say for example against Burnley, but we were, you know, disciplined against Luton. We were, you know, we ground out results against Sheffield United. We overcame all sorts of machinations against Liverpool. You know, let's just enjoy it. But let's get behind our team on Monday. From 7:45 till 10 o'clock, I want us to come out with sore throats.
My view on the Ange thing regarding what he's saying and what possibly thinking and saying to the players. Yeah, there was a couple of things that made me think, the Son interview on after the game against Crystal Palace, that little, you know, your body language don't lie. You can see something in him when asked the question. It was a wry little smile. Not to say, yeah, we are on a title race, but it was like something's been said. They've talked about something. I don't know what that talking about is, whether or not we're favourites, whether or not Spurs, if we stay here, lads, this is it, or whatever it is. But there's something being said in terms of the way we're playing. The other thing is, Andrew said it many times himself, we're going to be judged on performance. We're going to be judged on how we perform. And at the end of the season, the crowd, the fans are going to tell me exactly what he thinks of the season. Where we are now, if we were to fall off, regardless of whether or not we sign players or don't, and I'll get to my next point about that in a minute, whether or not we sign players and we were to drop off and fall outside of the top 4, even top 5, it would be a disappointing season because it means we would have had to have fallen off. Yes. Now, the next point I was going to come to was if he is then backed in January sufficiently in terms of getting personnel in that can cover us for the eventualities that we've already seen coming, Asian Cup, African Cup of Nations, and we're in a position where we are now, or in and around, I think the chat will be different again. It won't be a talk of, well, we're just going to be progressing, because we've already progressed to a level now. We would have progressed to another level by the time January comes, so you can't go back. We'd have played every team by then, so we'd know what the season's about in terms of who we're playing. Yes, things are going to happen because of games, Champions League and other games. But certainly, if we're in and around first, we get supported. Daniel Levy puts his money in his pocket, hands in his pocket, and takes the money out and gives him what he wants. And Postecoglou, as a winner, which I know he is, would be disappointed if we don't finish in and around the top 1 or 2 if he's in that position and backed. That's my personal opinion. We can go back and say, oh, well, that's overachievement. Not from what I've seen of this guy. The guy didn't come in at Celtic and say, well, give me 3 seasons. He talked a very similar game, but his demeanour showed me that he wasn't messing about. And it showed me when the interview he had in after the Rangers game, when he just didn't want to answer anybody's question. He didn't want to talk to anybody because he'd lost against Rangers. That's what I'm hoping I'm going to see. If that was to be the case against Chelsea, if we lose again, I don't want him to come out and say, well, Chelsea this and this. I want him to just be, I don't give a fuck how we played. We didn't win the game. That's my manager, because that's what it means to us. That's what it should mean to him. And I think he's got that about him. So I think personally, come January, if he's back, he's going to be talking a different game. And I hope he does. I don't want to, not that I don't want to hear this word progressing, we're progressing. But we're already at a point now. We're already at a level where, you know, to drop below a certain standard would mean we'd have dropped off a lot. We've got players coming back. Benton's still coming back. We've got this.
And what's really, really good to hear from his mouth is he said, in January, I want my signings done ASAP. I do not want to go halfway into January or end of January to get players in, because to then embed them into my team, to get them training, it's going to be February, mid-February before they're actually up and running again. I want my players early January. I want my signings done early January, so they're raring to go. I can get them into my the system. I can get them running and whatever. And if he's saying that now, that is a message to Daniel Levy to say, stop fucking around like you've been doing for how many years, and buying players on the last day. Harry Redknapp winding his window down saying, yeah, we've just bought another player, blah, blah, blah. I want my players at the beginning. So that's a statement of intent already. Yeah. And if he's saying that now, that is the manager, like you just said, Sam, who is not fucking around. He's making statements and he intends to keep people to them statements, and he's going to be bold. And that's what I like. So I expect he's probably already got players lined up that he wants. And I think he's given the list or whatever to say, I want them done within the first week of January. And I won't be surprised.
Sean?
I'm a bit confused about what you were saying there, Sam, because you were saying that you wanted him to say something else.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want him to say anything else. I don't want him to say we're still progressing. If he gets backed in January, let's say if he gets backed and we're still in the position that we are, as a winner, I want him to keep on winning. So I want him to start thinking that, yeah, we are in a position. I don't want him to. I don't want to get this. Oh well, we're still there. Yeah, but let's put ourselves in it. Let's go out and try to win it, because this is the mentality I want to see from the players. Can they take the pressure? Can they be put in the position of being in the league, or certainly within a race in January? Arsenal came from being, you know, where they were after losing to us that season before, and then having the run that they had last season. No one said, oh well, they said, yeah, Arsenal in this position, and everybody was like giving them grief because they didn't win it at the end of the season. I don't want to see a 97% of us and then drop off, because the mentality thing is what I want to see in terms of a shift. That's what I'm alluding to. So I want him to kind of push for that, if it makes sense.
I think that's as clear as mud to me. But I mean, all I want is you know, we'll know better in January. We'll know better by Christmas, because by then we'll have played Man City, we'll have played Newcastle, we'll have played Villa. We'd have played Wolves, who are you know, a tough nut to crack at the minute. And, you know, we've got, I think, 7 games in December. I think it is 7 games. It's an awful lot of football, considering, you know, we're...
8 played them in a week.
Huh?
Ain't 3 of them in a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it is difficult. I mean, but then I look at the serial winners. I don't ever never see Pep saying we're going to win the league or Klopp we're going to win the league. I don't even think they say that we're in a chance of winning the league.
I didn't say he said we've got to win the league.
Yeah.
What he cannot continue, in my opinion, is saying, "Oh, we're just progressing," because you would have progressed if you get supported. What I'm saying is, if we're in the same sort of position, let's say, okay, put it another way. Asian Cup's finished. The guys are coming back for African Cup of Nations. We've got the players around. We're not playing Champions League football like the others are, but we're in and around first and second. The others are still competing for those other trophies in terms of Europa, Champions League, Conference League, whatever you want to call it. If we don't consider ourselves in a race at that particular point, at what point do we consider ourselves in a race? So the talk that I'm expecting from our manager is to say to the players, regardless of what he says to the press, is this is our opportunity now to win this. If he comes out and says a different thing, that's up to him. But personally, it's me in a coaching position as a manager, as a winner. I don't know many winners that like losing, particularly from a place where there's an opportunity to win this. I want to give that message to my players. I've got to use my skills and my management abilities and my coaching abilities to get the message through to make sure that they believe in that. But I'm not going to be, oh, lads, you know what? Take this. Oh, yeah, we're going to take this one. No. Man United are in Europa. You know, Manchester City are playing Champions League. They've got to focus on that. Arsenal are doing what Arsenal are doing. No. This is our opportunity, lads. We have an opportunity, lads. We're playing good football. That's the sort of talk. I'm not saying he's going to say we're going to definitely win that. My message might have got a bit mixed up in what I said earlier.
I could understand that in-house, yeah. In-house, he could be saying that to the players, this is our chance. But I don't want him to go down the road of public pronouncements on that one.
No. I don't. Yeah, I agree.
I think
what should he be saying then? So what should he say in, let's say, February, March time in this position?
Well,
if we were,
I mean, there's a lot of ifs there, though, isn't there, Sam? Will we be first or second come February? I don't think so. But you know, it's something that we can only answer at that time. But if we're first or second in February coming into March, then yeah, we are in with a chance, and the players will have to start to believe that. But let's cross that bridge when we get to February, March. Let's not,
And not only that, Sean, if we are first or second in February, like you're saying,
what happens if we were third, for example, or fourth?
I expect this guy here next door.
Yeah, it's points difference. If, like I said, we could be. Let's say there's first to eighth and there's 6 points difference. Yeah, you could be seventh and be 5 points behind. What I'm saying is, if we're in and around that sort of area, if those other teams, I wouldn't expect Emre to come out and say, you know what? If he's in and around that position, he's a winner. He's going to say, yeah, we've got an opportunity here, blah, 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 depending. Results can happen, injuries can happen. I know all that. That's football. But you can't go into that thinking, well, that might happen, this might happen, or this might, because you'll never be able to do anything. You've got to do what you said, as you said, on the day with the players that you've got. But you certainly got to give the mentality and the belief to these players. That's the change I want to see. It's the mentality shift. We've been in the position before when we've been in and around challenging for the league. We've seen that under Poch. What was the difference? In my opinion, the mentality. It wasn't about the players and the recruitment. It was the mentality. The battle of the bridge game showed everything. Hence the reason why I said what I said, because if we're in a similar sort of position with Ange Postecoglou, from what I've seen of him all around the world, he's made sure that he said we can do this in no uncertain ways. However, he's done that, but he's made sure that they've crossed the line. They've crossed the line. So,
but he never said it in public.
Well, whatever he said to them, he said something to the players. He said
no, but he's not. I'm talking about fronting up a press conference. He never says that we're going to win the league. Never.
No, that's fair enough. But I'm sure he didn't say, well, we ain't got a real chance here. I'm sure he's been positive in terms of what he's going to do. And I can look back at some of because I looked at quite a few of them Celtic interviews. Hence the reason why I was like, yeah, this guy's the right one for us. Because he didn't come across as one of those, oh, well, yeah, we're just a bit lucky enough. No, If we played well, we played well. If we're going to do well, we're going to do well. And if he thinks that we can win something, he's going to say so. And that's all I want him to do. I just want him to continue that based on where we are now. 10 games in, and we are where we are. It's silly of us to say we're going to win the league. I know that. But it's not silly to start thinking, well, what can happen if this happens? And we got this player back, and then we do get backed in January. And we are in this position come end of February.
I mean, you know, we could also be, you know, I mean, if we were first and like 9 points clear or 10 points clear, which Arsenal never got to be that far ahead, did they? Can't remember last season.
They did. They got 11 points clear at one point. They had a game, played game more, but they were 11 points clear at one point.
Yeah, well,
put it this way: would you be disappointed? Would you be disappointed as a Spurs fan if we were 11 points clear, one game played more, and we didn't win the title?
I'd be pissed.
In February or March,
wherever Arsenal were, and someone can put it in the comments. Wherever Arsenal were when they were 11 points clear, and we didn't win the title, regardless of what happened the season before, would you not be disappointed? I tell you, fucking what, I'd be absolutely devastated. Me, devastated.
It depends how. I suppose it depends how you've approached this season. I mean, given where we were in the dumps at the end of last season,
that's
you
what
know,
I'm
it's, you know, I would, you know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I can't find it now, but I'm sure at some point in March, Arsenal were 11 points clear. They played one more game than whoever it was that 11 points clear. It probably was City. But I know that there was 11 points in there. So, yeah, whatever the combination was. There was all this talk about Arsenal being 97% or 95% at the top of the league. Bottled it. And Arsenal did bottle it. That shows mentality. If we've changed as a whole unit, as players, as whatever we are as a club, if we get to that same point that Arsenal were and we weren't to win the league, what do you think everybody would say? Same old Spurs. This old Spurs, blah 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 Spurs. They are even points. I'm just playing hypothetical devil's advocate. I'm not saying.
I know. The difference I would argue is that Arteta's had 4 years.
Fair point.
He's had 4 years. You know, Postecoglou's had 4 months almost. You know, so it's not horses for courses. It's not quite the same. And. But yeah, 11 points clear March. Yeah, and you know, it would be disappointing. It would be disappointing not to win the league. Maybe because I'm old and I've kind of, I've kind of, you know, I've lived with the fact that I will never see Tottenham win the league. I've made my peace with God, you know. In fact, maybe I fear that I'll have a bloody heart attack and miss it. You know, I'm worried about bloody World War III at the moment. That would be bloody typical, wouldn't it? You know, we're 11 points clear and World War III.
That would be Dr. Totter Sid. You must have a song that can stop us from getting to that situation. Because if that was the case, imagine that. It's almost like Liverpool with the COVID season. Nobody wants to really remember Liverpool winning it, but they did. Imagine that was to be the case. You know, we were 11 points clear and World War III kicks off. I don't want to think of that.
So there's lots of imponderables at the moment. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I want us to be 11 points clear with, you know, 2 months to go.
No, as I said, I'm only playing. I'm playing devil's advocate based on the fact that what I've seen of Arsenal last season, and nobody. I gave Arsenal so much grief for not winning the league, and they were obviously where they were the year before and all the rest of it. So we have to put the same sort of thing onto us. They were a very similar position to where we were last year in terms of this sort of time of the league, even very much so in terms of points. So our trajectory that we're going on, given a bit of luck, we could continue this and we could be, you know, I don't know where we're going to be. I just want to see that. I want to see that shift in mentality. Final thoughts then, because I know we've got to wrap up in a bit. And then if you want to tell the viewers about when the preview show is coming up.
Final thoughts. Obviously, massive game on Monday for Spurs because we've got to increase that lead because everybody else will have played. So the lead could be cut down. We might not even be top by Monday. So we've got to get back where we belong, back to the top of the table, get out there, beat them. I couldn't give a fuck about Pochettino coming to the stadium. He's gone. He's finished. you know, he's not my manager now. My manager is the manager who's at the top of the league, who's won the manager of the month twice. Hopefully wins it 3 on a bounce. So just get out there, get that game won. 10 of them players will obviously have got no history in terms of what's happened, the Battle of the Bridge and all that crap. So it's a new game for them. Just go out, do what you've been doing all season, win that fucking game, put them back to bed where they belong. Can't send that twat home, pointless from from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And make sure you tune in on Sunday to the preview show where hopefully all the team will be available and we can discuss stats, we can discuss the Battle of the Bridge, we can discuss the team selection and everything else, and we can tell Poch to fuck right off.
Summed up nicely. If you want to do the same, Sean, you can sum up as nicely as that.
Yeah, I want us, those of us who are in the stadium, that's all 3 of us here, I want us to contribute to making the stadium a cauldron of Monday night. Yeah, really, you know, rattle those young players, rattle those young Chelsea players, but get behind our team. So I just want the 3 points. I won't be on the previous show because I'm out. I'm down in London tomorrow. And I won't be in the reaction show because no doubt I'll be caught somewhere in traffic, somewhere in London as I try to get back to the hotel I'm staying in. So we'll just, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we find it. I'm looking forward to a good evening's entertainment from Angie's Tottenham Hotspur.
Very well said. I'm looking for a win. I want to win. I don't care how we do it. It could be our worst performance of the season. I really don't care. We can analyze and do the analyzing after that if that was to be the case. We have to beat Chelsea on Monday. 1-0, 2-0, 10-0, 3-1, whatever. I don't care. Just win. And that will help us get over that Chelsea thing. Because I still think there's a Chelsea thing there, personally. But we'll see. We'll see. Battle of the Lane, people are calling it. Dudes Nuts is saying. Aston Hotspurs 2, Chaz 1 reference to Villa raid this week. Key is if Udogie plays. Certainly, Udogie's a massive player if he doesn't play in that game. But there's players coming back. Brendan Johnson, obviously Benson Kerr as well. Gill. We've got players who have got something to prove. Someone saying here, and it's John Fitzpatrick, centre back and striker in January could be enough to challenge. Who knows? Not saying we'll win the league, nor am I. But I'm saying if we're in that position, come March or something, we better do. Could be wrong, but I think the stats is right. What stats?
That's the stat about. No, that was the stat about Arsenal being 11 points clear.
No, it was about Spurs. No, it was about Spurs.
Oh, about this one.
Yeah.
I believe Spurs' best start to the season was 11 unbeaten. I think 61 season.
That was 11 straight victories, by the way.
Yeah, it was
11 straight victories.
That I don't think we'll see that. I don't think
it's still a record. I think it's only been ever equaled. You know,
I don't remember seeing that ever to be done anywhere else. But anyway, that's it. Is the preview show tomorrow? Did you say
Sunday evening?
Sunday.
Yeah, because Sunday evening. Yeah, we'll do it Sunday evening, because hopefully by then we're gonna have chills. They're multiplying, and Angie's gonna lose control because the power he's supplying is gonna be fucking electrifying.
Good. I hope it is. I hope it's as electrifying as the song was.
I'm going to watch Spurs women on Sunday afternoon, so I'll
enjoy that. Sean. Enjoy.
Will do.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you smash a like, hit the subscribe button, comment down in the comment section below. Paxton Road TV, PRTv Spurs. We'll be back. I think it's Sunday, as soon as said in the reaction show. We'll be down at the game. We're making sure we weren't really going to do the preview show, but it's Chelsea, so we had to do a bit of a special about them because I just want to win. I don't care how it's done. Just win the game. That's it. Thank you very much, and we'll go out with the thanks for this music. Come on, you Spurs.